What's good, fellow CEOs? Welcome to the Irony of Gaming. And today, we're going to be starting episode 4. Man, the last episode was pretty insane from there on the last recap, where Mina had to fight, her best friend, Nare. And a whole bunch of twists and turns was happening from there, so can't wait to see how this is going to go with episode 4. So let's get to it. And this theme song is still too epic. Let's go here and episode 4. Now this is where things really start to get intense, and it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. They just keep upping the limit. They keep upping the ante every single main episode. This one was pretty good too. And also too, not only that, but it drops like a lot of questions and also what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of foreshadowing in this episode. So you might want to pay a little bit closer attention to this one, because it's gonna make so much sense once we get to the later episodes. So, episode 4, Terraside 1. Now, before I even start, you guys already know the drill. If I'm going to talk about anything that could be spoiler related, even mentioned in the substreams and whatnot, I'm going to count down from 5 seconds, and that's going to give you time to mute the video. And then once I'm finished talking about what I'm talking about, then I'm going to rotate my mouse just like this, and that's going to give you the signal to unmute the video, and then we just continue on. And also, of course, the rule for me is that when I'm doing the missions, I am obligated to only use units that are part of the same squad. Now, sometimes I may have to do a collaborative effort by using another unit from another squad. It's usually rare for that to happen, but there are certain missions where you may need to, use another unit from another squad just so you can handle the situation a lot better or get through specific situations. Terraside, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. Episode 4 and 5, maybe, but I'm not so sure about 4. Maybe we could get away with it. But on 5, there are a few specific missions that may be a little bit challenging to do so on that. But if anything, I'm pretty confident that the units are probably strong enough for it. But if not, then we could always use the collaborative effort thing. But yeah, let's continue on with this. I did like episode 4. It got me very invested into what's happening next in the story and whatnot. So to replace the syndicate, Mina is confronted by the unexpected individual. Oof, wonder who that is. I wonder, how long was this one? Okay, so this one was a little bit longer than the other ones, and I was pretty glad when I first read this. I was like, oh man, I'm so glad that it's a little bit longer, because I wanted to know what was happening. But then again, it may go a little bit faster than what we expected. But all right, let's continue on. Prologue. Upon the bodies of pilgrims. Does she have a bikini? Does she have a summer outfit? If not, we definitely need to get a summer outfit of her. Summer outfit when? But you know what? She'll probably get the outfit as soon as Alex gets her summer outfit. Oh, replace a queen. You know, they definitely need to get, like, we should get a another outfit skin for Queen when she has this outfit. I think it would be pretty cool. All the bickering. Hold on 1 minute. Let me check something. Okay. Around here. So they must have been former allies. Ooh. Hold on, before I continue on, real quick, spoiler alert. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for those of you who didn't mute the video, I've been having this theory, right, ever since episode 5. And later on, when we find out that Queen managed to stay alive, well, the original Queen, she died, of course, and she had the replacer system, you know, regenerate her body, but she was a completely different person, right? So the theory that I was having was that I think one of these, like, I think that Queen is a special case scenario, you know, above all of the other replacers because of her regenerative abilities, right? And since it's such top notch, I think that when she experienced that huge shock of death, I think it just, what it did was it initiated a temporary amnesia. So I think that whatever this other Jaina is, I think that the real Queen is still dormant within her mind, and it's only a matter of time before she reawakens again to who she really is and gains all her memories and whatnot. I truly do believe that that's what's gonna happen. It's almost as if she's just waiting to emerge again, and if that does happen, it would be hilarious to see how this goes when she faces off against Seo Yoon again, if possible. But I really do think that, you know, Queen isn't exactly dead, but she's a special case out of all the other ones, just because of what her abilities are. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just did, like, out of nowhere, like, you know, one of those critical moments, kind of like what happened with Replace a King, where he was still in the imaginary space and still was alive, and he managed to get he managed to get Delta Squad out of there with one last push of his power. Pretty crazy stuff. Oh. So she gave the order? Oof. The clap back. Uh-oh. That is a good picture. Hold on. That's a cool screenshot. Wait a minute. Variables like these are what keep fate interesting. Deputy Commander. One solution. Okay. Operation Terraside. And it begins. Ugh. So, let's see. We're designed to play calm when we're driven to extremes. Okay, let's see. Who am I gonna choose? This time we're gonna change it up a little bit. We are now going to use the panda. Let's go. Should I use? We'll use her.
어째 고생할 것 같은 예감이 들지만
Yeah, it seems Mina's still grieving. "20 missions.
언니, 오빠들 잘 부탁드립니다. 이 지긋지긋한 싸움을 끝내겠어. 긴급 기동! 침착하게.
Don't let him get to the panda.
완전 무적 상태예요. 할 수 있어. 지금부터는.
Nice.
저 많이 칭찬해 주실 거죠?
I mean, technically, you know, Mina does have a point here. Because it seems like the mercenary guy, it seemed like he was running to catch up to her, where she was already killing all the CLs. But then again, she probably alerted a whole bunch of them, which probably did almost get them killed. So I guess it's fair too. Listen, Mina, we need to talk. You have a problem. They're probably like all sitting in a circle. Oh man. Yeah, but she's really having odd behavior with like this. Another op coming up. This is crazy. Even her personality is a little bit different. Like you could tell that something's off about her. An amusement park.
그렇게 칭찬하시면 부담만 커진다고요. 뭐
Unexpected behaviors. I mean, it's kind of fair too. Because I mean, usually when one does grieve, they usually say one of the best things is to keep yourself busy. So you don't have to think about the trauma that, you know, that has occurred and whatnot. However, in this case, since Mina is in the fighting business as a mercenary, that could get, you know, that combination with working too hard could be quite deadly and reckless. This is the amusement part. Unexpected behaviors. She doesn't feel comfortable in such a peaceful environment. She has a sense of unrest. Let's see, who do we use?
오라버니께서 멋진 성찬을 준비해 주셨네요. "108 spins from hell." What type of ride is that? That's a loss. That sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. What? She's getting angry pretty quickly.
I don't really feel like it. Yo, he completely ignored her, yo. He's like, okay, fine, I'll start. Oh man, man, this part is just as funny as I remembered it. It's like, oh, I'm not playing. Well, too bad. We're playing anyway. And he just keeps continuing on. Ah, interesting questions. She completely ignores that question too. Ooh, okay. I think I forgot about this part. Okay, so so they did ask that question. The only thing I could find on your family was your older sister in the hospital. I'm very curious about something. They never... Well... How can I say this? You know what? Actually, no. Actually, hold on. Spoiler alert. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for those of you who didn't mute the video, I don't think ever before, like, this whole entire, like, during the whole incident from episode 4 and 5, and a little bit further up ahead before the Clifoth game starts, I don't think they ever mentioned Yumina's sister's name. But according to Ju Shi-yoon, he got a name. But I wonder what the name was, though. It must have been a fake name, because I would think that if the real name ended up happening, this could trigger a lapse in memory, maybe, or maybe it'll trigger something enough for her to remember something that she probably shouldn't remember, which could maybe accelerate the destruction from appearing. But I do wonder what the fake name would be, and also with the whole parents thing too. It seems that Ju Shi-yoon may have been the first one to mention it. I couldn't find anything else on your parents or other family members. What was the name, Ju Shi-yoon? What was her name? It's as if they never existed. Interesting. I mean, I think it would be pretty interesting though if you mention who your parents were. Oh, what a way to leave a cliffhanger on, right? Wait, what? PTSD. Uh-oh.
오빠, 우리 힘내봐요. 모두 함께 즐거운 성찬을 열도록 해요. 저기도 전부 저희 땅이에요. 역시 오빠가 최고예요.
Awesome. He's throwing a lot of truth bombs there. Defense mechanism triggered by the awakening collapse. She's reaching the source of the problem.
바이바이. 이제 헤어질 시간이에요. 또 만나요. 다들 이쪽만 쳐다보네. 응? 날개를 안 숨겼다고요? 하차!
Acute corruption syndrome. These sort of things only happen when the CSE level reaches 4 or above. So 4 and above causes acute corruption syndrome. I'm gonna remember that. Do ya? Oh, can't be helped.
우리 힘내봐요. 빛으로. 아무데나 가라. 완전 무적 상태예요. 저 많이 칭찬해 주실 거죠?
Wait a minute. A police officer that looks like this? I mean, he might be a detective or something. Or he could have been undercover. 오.
내 눈부신 활약 어때? 마구 칭찬해주고 싶지?
Death is a new beginning. Huh. Choose her.
내가 리더가 아니라
What? Okay. He said we could just run away. too late. Oh, regenerated knight. The legacy memory. Here we go. Looks like we're fighting Knight.
언니
여기 있었구나,
오빠들 잘
쥐새끼들아.
부탁드립니다. 완전 무슨 상태예요? 이걸로 해볼까나? 약하다고 그냥
특별히 귀여워해주지.
특별히 이걸로 썼지. 완전 무적 상태예요. 저기도 전부 절상이에요.
싶어하는 놈 천지구만.
완전 무적 상태예요.
Black units.
나한테 맞죠? 언니 오빠들에게 도움됐겠죠?
주제를 모르냐?
바라기라도 해보라고.
Oh, what a finish.
역시 오빠가 최고예요.
Nice. The sword literally impaled her. Stripper girl. She went from stripper to slutty. She's just not responding. Oh. Blast from the past. That face, though. Her eyes, they look so lifeless. Yeah, she took a headshot. There ain't no way she can make it from there. Or could she?
이 몸은 게임마저도 최강인 걸까?
Okay. And that is the end of Act 1. So let's start Act 2. Oh, wow. Doesn't seem to be that long. Or you must believe that every problem has an answer.
그럭저럭 재밌. Global emergency.
Ooh. To cause a corruption undetected. Man. I guess you could say it's kind of like, well, no, not really. I was gonna say like it could be like radiation, like without a Geiger counter. It's just, you just completely get destroyed from the inside. You know, it's just like breaking through the skin barrier and just completely wreaking havoc on the body. And it's like a invisible fire. But in this case, this would be the counter side effect. Okay.
오빠, 우리 힘내봐요. 보세요. 이런 진심. 입자즉소. 자, 한번 쳐볼까요? 자, 야, 헉. 자. 큰 거 온다. 입자집소. 귀여우셔라. 자. 이노베이션 리얼리티. 완전 무적 상태예요. 큰 거 온다. 입자집소. 완전 무적 상태예요. 자. 한번 쳐볼까요? 자, 야, 완전 무적 상태예요. 저 많이 칭찬해 주실
봤어.
거죠?
To bring someone back from the dead? Okay. Sorry, I was pouring myself a soda. The mysterious substance that they extracted from Mina. That would be interesting. That the factor from Mina causes them to come back to life. Huh. That's an interesting thought. Ooh. Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. Spoiler warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for those of you who didn't mute the video, I find that interesting. The way that they said it, where if that is the case and if that was true, that kind of would explain why that whole entire paradoxic what is it? The whole loop that keeps happening, right? Every time the wolf dies, there's always a new wolf happening every time. What if that all the wolves share the same Clypha factor, which the Clypha factor itself is like a type of regenerative ability, which probably explains why there's always a different wolf every time. Because in some form, some way, a different wolf keeps being brought back to life, but the wolf keeps being brought back to life, but as a different person. It's an interesting little theory right there. And then I guess if that were somewhat true, I guess you could just compare the failed experiments, which is Replacer Knight and Bishop, where the body is back, but the identity is lost. Guess it could be kind of similar to what the wolf is too, where the body maybe it's a little different, but I guess it's like it could be all the same, but the mind is always shattered when the wolf dies, thus losing all their memories up until now. That'd be interesting. Maybe the Clypha factor is she has one that's I guess you could say like a phoenix. A wolf that impersonates a phoenix. Only this particular one doesn't have memory of its past lives. Well, up until a certain point, that is. Sort of a type of loophole. Ooh, wait a minute. The Clypha factor or whatever. Come to think of it, a similar thing happened when I met you for the first time. Another cliffhanger, look at that. They sure love their cliffhangers. Oh, silent. Man, the pausing that she's doing with this. Dead people can't come back to life. Those are some pretty strong words when you think about it.
아시겠죠, 사장님? 사장님을 향한
Okay. Public servants.
우리는 태양의 빛을 따라
I fake. Yeah, I love the confidence. Wait, what did she say? This thing's got airplanes, right? Bro. Only in the driver's seat? What? Oh, that's crazy. Bro, she just jumped out the vehicle. Wait, what? Cultists. The 7th time. He's got a paper bag for a mask. All right.
오빠, 우리 힘내봐요.
정화를 시작합니다. 크게 다칠 거다. 여기. 거기까지. 여기. 거기까지. 여기. 여기. 거기까지. 여기. 빈틈이 많군.
여기도 저기도 전부 저희 땅이에요.
거기까지. 여기.
저 많이 칭찬해
Nice.
주실 거죠?
Oh, she was close to getting her ultimate off. Lee Yumi. You know, I think someday Kang may get an awakened version. I just have a hunch about it. He's a pretty interesting character. Her case studies is also interesting as well. I gotta finish those up too. regular folks, but she looks like a counter. Wait a minute. Putting her in chains. That's interesting. Give someone, if you want someone to stay, give them a title to chain them to the organization so they don't go anywhere else. Huh. What an interesting method. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Miss
정화 완료.
Cooper?
앞을 인도하겠다.
Ah. Hey, she's back. Of course not. That's not good. Kyle. Little bro's talking like an old man. Yeah, he's the younger yeah, yeah, he's younger than her. According to Sylvia. Guess he's wise beyond his years, I guess. New York, huh? Oh man. She cursing like a sailor.
돌아볼 필요는 없다.
Resurrection. Non-counter folks. Non-counter folks that occurred within the past 2 years. A counter drug. Interesting. Regenerative capabilities, which turns into a monster lump of tumors. Supervillains. Wait a minute. Oh, alright. The pretense. Discreet dealers. Basically paramilitary. Arrested one of their officers. Wow. Similar personalities?
언니, 오빠들
That was quite a lengthy
잘
one.
부탁드립니다.
빛은 허상. 구원을 바라지 마라. 새겨줘. 어둠으로 접견. 이 암흑은 네 오만함을 삼켜주마. 어리석군.
여기도 완전 무적 상태예요.
어둠으로 접견.
저 많이 칭찬해 주실 거죠?
They can control COs. Uh-oh. You know what I wonder? Hold on. Spoiler alert. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, for those of you who didn't mute the video. So, what I wonder, right, during this replacer incident, how they're able to control COs. I wonder if they were the progenitors of it, or was it Felix who was the one who understood how the research worked in controlling the COs, and then later on expanding it to controlling shadows themselves. I wonder if Replacer King ended up getting um, partial data from Felix herself or from the Northern Union Army. I wonder if he ended up getting that type of data from her, or maybe it was just always maybe the information was always located within Replacer Rook's database, which is why he understood how to do that. And then maybe from there, maybe Felix got a hold of that information from the replacers and ended up, fusing it with her own type of research, which led her to control the CEOs and controlling shadows themselves. So it could be one or the other from there. Or then again, maybe it's just great minds that do think alike, and they just ended up by chance coming across the same conclusion. I mean, when you think about it too, it's like, the admin. I mean, he pretty much has Lyudmila, who is a shadow, and a special kind of shadow, a Demogorgon, who's basically, basically acting as his own shadow, his own personal shadow. So it's something interesting. It's like it seems to be different methods that these other factions tend to go across. Some real interesting stuff. All right. It kind of makes you think too that actually no, because I think like the admin probably recently had known how to do that based off of what Lyudmila had done. But I'm guessing maybe he might have had theories, but he had to, like, basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Like maybe he had the theories written down where it sounded good on paper, but he's never really tried out the method until that very moment when Lyudmila was in that particular situation. I really want to know more about that story, like the whole process that she had to go through just to become a Demogorgon. I really want to know about that. It's such a shame that they never included it in the story so far, not even in substreams. Now you would think that was the case, but I think that if they ever do decide to do something like that, I think it's probably closely tied to Alex as well, because I would love to know more about her story on that as well, even though they did show like bits and pieces of it, especially like a majority one when it came down to Maestra's story, the Elysium story. But yeah, I definitely would like to know more on that. But it's really interesting how the factions, they come across the same type of conclusion on how to control a CO, or in this case, a shadow, for Felix and I guess the admin. Kind of makes you think where who got the information from who. Maybe the admin got partial information from the Northern Union, which gave him the idea to do what he did to make Lyudmila a Demogorgon, or maybe Felix somehow got a hold of a bunch of theories and information from the administration to form her own, or got partial information from the replacers themselves or the remnants. It's interesting things when you think about it. It's just like so many avenues and whatnot. But I don't know if maybe there is a definite answer, and I might have just missed what they had said before. But hey, if that is the case, hey, feel free to let me know in the comments section. Would love to know your guys' theory on it as well. Ooh. See, it seems like so far, I don't know if you guys were noticing this, but so far through the start of this, of the acts, of Act 1 and Act 2, it just seems that Shiyun, he's like throwing sneak disses at Hilde, and he's throwing jabs, like little small jabs, to the point where it's like you it's easy to miss it. It's easy to miss it, but if you pay a little bit more attention to it, you can see that you can sense like there's some type of tension between the two. I remember reading this before. I'm just like, seeing this part from here, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, is he taking small jabs at her, where he's like he annoys her at times, but this type of annoyance is like he's pestering her in a different manner, in a way where it's just like almost as if he has like a grudge against her or something. At least that's the idea that I was getting from there when I like look into it like this, because it just seems like he's making sneak disses and whatnot. Don't know if you guys were getting the same idea on this, but it's definitely interesting. It's kind of cool that the way that they wrote it this way, where it's like, some will probably see it and some wouldn't. And the way you know it as it well, the way you know about it too, is just like the way that she's reacting to what he's saying. Ah, look at that. It's kind of like she's insinuating this. It's like Yumina is like bringing more light into this. In case if readers ended up missing whatever the little small hints is, or if we were suspecting something. It seems like Mina kind of gives you like that second win. Like, oh, if you miss this, here's that. But that's just the idea that I get from it when I see this. Jushion's getting serious now. Hmm. I suggest we all remember these words. The master never does anything without a reason. See, and in a way, they're doing this again with how, you know, it's like it's kind of like a third win now, where it's like, again, if you know, if anybody misses the, I guess, like misses the type of hint that he's giving out or whatnot, now he's creating distrust, creating questioning, and it seems like it seems like it's more apparent now that he's digging at her on purpose, but in a more serious manner. Now starting to question her actions. It's a good hypothesis. It's very vague. Man, I love how they bring this whole thing up like this, how they putting this all together. This is cool. This is kind of like the fourth win now. It's an interesting, it's interesting saying.
너의 믿음 덕분이다. 고맙구나.
A lucky day. Those deluding the world have been severely punished regardless of their nationality or ethnicity.
저희는 마지막까지 포기하지 않을.
By that little twerk. Purview? Is that a word? I don't think I've ever seen. Hold on. Did they mean like preview, or? I'm curious. I have to know. Wow, purview. That's an actual word. Medical records. Combat operations are under my purview as I. Surely it can't just be medical records, right? Data of governance, data of governance. Okay. You know, I think when I first saw this, I used to always think that this was like a typo, but I guess it isn't. Wow, these personalities are really different. Oh boy. You know, I never really realized that with the way that this guy's ideology is, but now that I'm reading this for the second time, it's really interesting on the choices of words that they use. With this, I will become an angel and gain eternal life. Now, where did he get that idea from? You know, just in case, spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So for those of you who didn't mute the video, so the choices of words that they're using here, it kind of gives me the idea of like when they first start with the cultists and whatnot. It's almost as if it resembles kind of like the cultists from the Girians, like the people, like the random cultists who were just doing random stuff, random murders and whatnot, and the way that their ideology is, I think it was a little bit similar, or if not, is similar to the cultist that serves the Girian. And it kind of makes you think that, did the Girian have a play in this somehow, by where these cultists were just mysteriously formed? Like, it kind of makes you think, like, where exactly did they come from to begin with? Were they just randomly picked up by the replacers, or did they have their own type of beliefs already and was already corrupt to begin with, and ended up seeing an opportunity when an opportunity through the replacers themselves? them talking about, oh, I'll become an angel and all of this, and when you think, and then when I hear that word of angel, I'm not really thinking about like, you know, Noel, but I'm thinking of the corrupted angels, the category 6 and above CEOs, the one that looks like angels but are monsters. Guess you could say like false divinity. So I found it kind of interesting when I see that word from so far back in the like, you know, so far early into the story, and it just, you know, it just makes me think of the category 6 type CEOs that appears when the world begins to collapse. Interesting stuff. Oof. Chosen for you from the old world. You know, when I see this, like this type of scene, it reminds me of the Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 5, with the whole Ouroboros type thing. Like Ouroboros has rejected you, and then you just turn into this grotesque type monster. Ooh. Man, that is gross. That's like nightmare fuel right there.
언니, 오빠들 잘 부탁드립니다.
팔라디움 월 사출합니다.
저기도 전부 저희 땅이에요.
이건 예상 못했을걸?
역시 오빠가 최고예요.
Almost made it to her ult. The society. Huh. Must be something different. Remember these words. There's these words are quite ironic. You know, I got a theory on something. But actually, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I actually, hold on. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for those of you who didn't mute the video, it just came to mind on this, on the whole replacer thing. So with the whole elixir and whatnot and the whole replacer situation, right? I have like this idea that, you know how like, so the person dies and they have to use something, some type of factor, which is related to the CounterSide effect, right? So what if, like, as soon as, like, when they get injected with this type of replacer type of elixir factor, right, before the whole elixir drug thing, but the replacers in general, when they die, they come back to life being regenerated, right? Through specific means. What if the very thing in their bodies that they, the factor that they put into their bodies is a specific type of CO? A CO that is on the cellular level or the molecular level, which then once the body deceases, triggers the event, which causes the cellular like version of a CO to take over the body, having them act as if they are human. That sounds pretty crazy, right? Like, what if that's basically what the replacers are? Because when you think about it, the soldiers themselves, the replacer soldiers, when they receive specific amounts of damage, they start to change into COs, and then they become permanently like this. They become shock troopers. So now it's a mixture of CO and a living creature's mind. So half CO, half human, and their functionalities is very limited, but it's an attempt of basically a CO taking the role of a human. So what if that's the theory concept behind the whole replacer projects? That the individual that comes back to life, as what she's saying, like a source body. What if that was, a CO dormant, a CO that's dormanted inside that body, which allows them to gain those abilities? Because even in the game, Bishop is considered to be a counter. So if she's considered to be a counter, but the thing is, Nare was never a counter to begin with. She was just human. She wasn't a counter. So the fact that she ends up getting ripped apart, died, gets brought back to life with this whole elixir thing, turns her into a counter, using the effects of which I'm assuming that is the a weaker version of the Clypha factor. And yeah, and pretty much using like materials based from the CounterSide effect. That would be pretty impressive, though, if that's actually the true nature of what the replacers actually are. Where a CO that can exist within the molecular level, within a cellular level, being dormant into the body and then activating when the stimulus happens, when death occurs, and activates its counter ability, or not counter ability, but its CounterSide effect ability to take over the brain, to take over the body. So I guess you could say like the replacers are kind of like maybe a perfected version of the shock trooper replacer soldiers. When they take enough damage or whatnot, they begin to turn into beasts. But in this particular case, when a specific replacer like Bishop or Knight or Queen, they face death, rather than them turning into grotesque monsters, they instead have a type of source, maybe with tech or whatnot, being able to bring them back to life, having all that data from the previous owner. That's really interesting. There was something else that I had another thought on, but it doesn't come to mind at the moment now. It's kind of crazy because I just had it too, and it just poof, just disappeared. Data corruption. Oh man. But right. So you like something that's on the molecular level like that kind of makes me think of maybe in the future that might be a foreshadowing of the type of ability that Beelzebub might have. the mysterious demon lord that operates in the shadows and stuff like that. Since Beelzebub is usually tied to disease, so that could be something interesting. CounterSide having a CounterSide effect syndrome or whatnot, or some type of corruption that happens from within the molecular level. I guess you could then compare Eve as something like that as well, right? Or just the lake of knowledge, the way that they operate in a few instances. Man, when you think about it like that, it's like, man, it's a whole rabbit hole you end up falling into. Crazy stuff. Respective sources, genetic information, mutation factor, and memories. Then are you the same person? You know, that is an interesting theory right there. Like, let's say someone were to die, but then someone takes the body and ends up having all the data that the previous owner has of their brain. So if you have all that data, would you be that person? Would you even be the same person? It's kind of interesting because it's kind of like that whole concept too, when people say that, you know, when you're unconscious, where you have no brain activity for a few seconds to a minute maybe, and you wake up, would you exactly be that same person? Because as you go to sleep, one part of your brain turns off while the other one stays active, and then it switches vice versa as you sleep. So that's kind of interesting. But then even if you do that, where one is active, then the other one, then once the other one activates, the other one shuts down, and then vice versa until you wake up, would you still technically be that same person? There's been a lot of researches on that too, something about that, where, you know, maybe like what, in the first, I don't know, maybe the first 20 years, like, you begin to replace all the cells within your body and whatnot. So would you technically? So technically, you're pretty much not the same person. Biology is such a weird thing, and I am no doctor. So I'm sure that there's plenty of other factors within it, but it's still, nonetheless, it's an interesting thing to think about. Surrender, huh? Hold on, just want to check something real quick. Oh, okay. Took the words right out of my mouth, Jushiyun. Wow, okay.
전술 예측 종료. 아무도 다치지 않아서 다행이네요.
And that is the end of Act 1 and 2. So next time we started, we're gonna be starting the last two, which is Act 3 and Act 4. But wow, that was interesting. I wasn't expecting this much. Like on the second read through, I wasn't expecting this much information to be revealed and that many theories to be conjured within those first two acts. That's really something. It seems like too that there were, even then there were like a lot of foreshadowing within it, which I like how it's like it's carefully set up to, you know, to make a bigger impact later on as we progress through there. So that's pretty cool. But wow, that's definitely something. Definitely something. It's starting to get interesting now. Very, very interesting. But yeah. So we're gonna be checking this out, the last two acts next time. But also too, guys, I did just to give you guys a reminder, on my shorts channel, my gaming shorts channel, the Irony of Gaming Shorts, I recently uploaded a new shorts vid today. Pretty crazy combo that happened over there. So when you guys get the chance, feel free to check it out. Also too, I also have a music channel that you can check too. It's I'll have the link in the description down below. But other than that, that's it, guys. I'm out of here. Catch you later.